design must do four things. First of all, it must be functional. Then it must work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, it's useless. So functionality is very important.
Functionality.
Mm-hmm. Second, it must meet criteria. Means it must meet the client's requirements, meet the client's costs, delivered on time, be green, meet authorities' requirements. So that's the second consideration, which is meet criteria. Within this set of criteria, it has to be green as well. So that is my so being green is only one small portion of what design means to me. The third factor is that the design has to be beautiful. If it's not beautiful, then it's ugly, then it's demeaning for humanity. But of course, beauty is very subjective. And but you have to try, because that's why we are artists, we are architects, you know. And fourth is that, and I think the fourth consideration is the most important one, is that it must make people happy. Yeah. So if it doesn't make people happy, no matter how green it is, no matter how beautiful it is, no matter how iconic it is, no matter how functional it is, if it doesn't make people happy, then it does nothing for the world, you see. So it must make people happy. So that is, to me, is the most important aspect of architecture. And these four factors are what drive what we do in our work. Well, I work in the field of ecological design. I've been doing this since 1971. That's over nearly 45 years ago. You see, ecological design at that time wasn't fashionable as it is now. Now you go around town, ask any architect, will tell you I do environment, I do green. I do green architecture. You know. In those days, nobody does green architecture, so I was treated almost like a hippie. Because in those days, hippies are the ones who, you know, interested in green architecture. So I started to study this, and I found that the work of Yeang took ecological design up to the level of planning. It tells you where to put buildings, but doesn't tell you how to design the buildings. What I've done is I've taken the work of Yeang and take it up to the design of the buildings. And that is one of my greatest, to me, my biggest accomplishment in ecological design. Secondly, how to define what ecological architecture is. I developed a model which I call the interactions model. And this again is my second contribution to ecological design. Then thirdly, what I'm working on now is how you can take the ecosystem, which is a model of nature, and use that to design our built environment. So that's my kind of research. So these are I think within the next few years, everybody will do it well, you know, if they wanted to. Because it will become, ecological architecture will become the trend or the second nature to where you design. Just like nowadays when we design a building, we think about design with climate, you know, the sun shading, the wind, you know. Maybe about 20 years ago, people don't think about it. They said, oh, we can air condition the building and it will work. But now with, you know, with energy conscious design and greenhouse gases being emitted by use of energy, people tend to design with climate, you know, to respond to the climate of the place. And I think within, you know, the next 5 years or so, everybody will design to the ecology of the place. And so when that happens, it's very good. That means when that happens, you can go back and focus on what architecture should be doing, which is to make people's lives happy and pleasurable. And that's the first question we should ask when you start designing. When you start designing, you ask yourself, what can I do here to make the people who use the building happy? What can I do to make their lives pleasurable? Once you have this, you decide on this, try and make it work. Now let's say you're designing a house. And your house, after it's finished, it makes the family immensely happy. It makes them, live better together and in great pleasure. Then in this way, Hassan, your purpose in life as an architect is fulfilled. I think that's all there is. So I think that's what will happen, because then we can shift our focus to people rather than to criteria. I think first one is cost, because everybody thinks a green building will cost more. To do a building that's rated platinum, it only costs you maybe about 5 or 8% more. We've done platinum buildings, which is about 6.3% higher than industry's average for the building type. So let's say to do an office building today, or do a condo, is about 200 ringgit per square foot. At 200, at 6.5% more, you can be highly rated, very high rating in the GBI. Then, of course, once you get platinum rating, you have energy and water savings. And that's the biggest benefit of green buildings, energy and water savings. So once you engender water and energy savings, usually the additional premium that you pay to make it green or make it super green, you can get it back. The owner gets it back for between 5 to 8 years. So that's the benefit of green buildings. But then after 5 to 8 years, it continues to save energy and water. So that is the real benefit of green buildings. So that's our justification for doing green buildings. I'm talking about creativity, practicality. As I said, it must work.
Should be functional.
Functional. Doesn't work, there's no point. No matter how iconic the architecture is, no matter how creative it is, if it doesn't work, it's hopeless. Right? Second, must meet criteria, as I mentioned earlier. It must be beautiful, and thirdly, it must make people happy. So those are the 4 basic factors that influence design. So if you want to simplify it into creativity, practicality, I think practicality has to be number 1. If it doesn't work, it's not practical.
So the building
It's hopeless,
I'm so happy.